Hey there, in this video we're going to talk about how you can change some things in your Google Drive to make it a little bit more efficient finding folders, finding files, and just kind of brightening up the whole space. But first, let's look at what Windows does. So if I go to File Explorer here and I go over here to Documents, notice that each of these documents, there's not much I can do to change the color of the document or make it a little bit easier for me to find something with pictures or emojis. Now, if I go to my download, these are folders with files in them. So if I go to like downloads or something, I get a better picture of what the file is because here I can see this one's a PDF. I can see that this is an install file, this is an Excel spreadsheet. I can see that these are pictures and so forth. So that's really helpful. Well, Google Drive does the same thing with files, but not the same thing with folders because you can do a lot more in Google Drive with folders. Instead of just having bland folders like this where there's no color, you can actually brighten up your space by changing the color of the folder. So this is how you do it. Just hover over a folder, do a right click on the folder, and then go all the way down to where it says change color, and then you can change it to a different color. So I'm going to change this one to a nice green color. And it's as easy as doing that. Now this one I'm going to do the same thing, do a right click, go to change color, and I'll color it blue, or even red, or even purple, whatever the choice may be. Let's stick to blue on this one. Now hopefully you can come up with an idea that's going to help you work and be a little bit more efficient in what you do with the color scheme. Now I'm going to share what I've done with my color scheme. I'm going to go over here to my drive. And if I scroll down, you can see a few different colors, and this is what I've done. I've chosen red for folders that I should not be going into, I should not be deleting. Maybe I've shared that out with somebody, and I want to permanently share that out until they're finished with it, and I don't know when they're going to be finished with it, but I just don't want to change anything or delete anything. So I may change that color to be red for that folder. These other ones that are green, those are ones that I am constantly going into to grab information from. So they're an active folder for me. The ones that are purple that I have, those are trainings. Those are professional developments. Those may be things that are associated with professional developments, such as certificates and surveys. Then I have one that's blue. That blue lets me know that that folder is shared with somebody else, and they are actively going into that folder like I am too. So I want to be very careful to make sure that I don't change anything in there that they may need. So just an idea of how you want to do that. Maybe it's, if it's your kids, for your students, maybe they have a color scheme. Maybe yellow is for science. Maybe green is for English language arts. Maybe red is for math. Maybe they have their own color scheme. Maybe it's last year's material. Whatever they want to come up with that works for them. So that is how you can color folders. Now, let me show you something else that you can do. If you want to highlight a folder especially, or even a file inside a folder, then you can do that by starring it. And let me show you an example. I'm going to go into my Google PD trainings, and this is just what I use. And I'm going to go into my IFP trainings. And what I want to do is highlight my slide deck that I have in each one of these folders, because really that's the one that I keep going to time and time again. And I have all these other things. I have Google Maps in here, I have documents and PDFs and so forth. And notice down here, these are my 3 slide decks that I have starred. Now, it's easy to do that. All you have to do is do a right click on the file, and let's star this one right here. It's IFP questions that I have. And I'm going to do a right click, and then if you scroll down, you see where it says add to starred, and you just click on that. And now it has a star beside it. I can see that file a little bit easier because it has a star there, which is great. But also something else happens that's nice. Over here on the left-hand side where you have categories of files and folders, there's one called starred. So if I click on it, I can see my folders that are starred that I have in my drive. I can also see several starred files that are hanging out in my Google Drive that really aren't in a folder, but they're starred by themselves, and they have the stars right here beside them. That lets me know that those are items that are starred. Now, also, I have some that are folders, because this one right here is the one we just did, and that was in a folder as well. Okay, so it's a great idea to just kind of be a little bit more efficient with what you're looking for. If I go back to my drive, I notice that some of these are starred because those are ones that are very special, because I spend a lot of time in them, and it makes it easier for me to find them. So that is how you star a folder. Now, let's do something really special that I like to do, and that is adding emojis to my file name or my folder name. Okay, well, first I want to show you where you can get your emojis. Up here, there is my Chrome extensions that are showing, and I have one that is like a multicolored heart, and I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to show you where that is in the Chrome Web Store. So I'm going to click on this right here, because that will take me to the Chrome Web Store. So when you go to the Chrome Web Store, look for Emoji Keyboard -Emojis for Chrome, and you're going to install it. And remember that heart that looks like this, and that will get you there. Okay, so just install that first. Go to the Chrome Web Store and do that. And now what I want to do is this. I'm going to go through some of my folders here, and I've already added some emojis here. So like this one right here, it's images, and I've added a little camera. Now they're kind of hard to see, but if you look at them, when you open up the Emojis extension, you can kind of choose ones that are a little bit more clear, they're a little bit larger, they have a lot less detail maybe, and those are going to show up a little bit better. So this one right here is a map. Well, it has a map of the world. It's really teeny tiny to see, it's hard to see, but this one right here where it says junk, and it has like a emoji with his tongue sticking out and a wink, that one's a little bit clearer to see. But you can add these to help yourself be a little bit more efficient. Or just for fun, that's totally okay too. This one has a plus sign for math resources. This one has Meet Recordings, which has a little video camera next to it. So let me show you how you can do this. So let's add one to this music folder here. So I'm going to click on my emoji keyboard icon. And here are just different emojis that you can add easily to the name of your file or your folder. So now I want to do a search. Okay, so I'm going to click on search right here. And I want to search for music. And all these different emojis come up. Now remember, I want one that is kind of large and doesn't have a whole lot of detail that would be easily seen. So I like the one right here of the drum set because it's kind of large, easy to see, and I'm going to use that one. I can also use this keyboard over here. That looks pretty good too. But let's stay with the drums. So I'm going to hover over it and go over here to where it says copy. So click on copy. And once I've done that, it's copied it to my clipboard. Okay. And now I'm going to go over here to music. And I'm going to click on it once, and then I'm going to do a right click. Okay. And go down to rename. So click on rename. And now I'm going to keep music here, but I'm going to add a space. And now I'm going to click on Control V. So when I press Control V, that pastes whatever's on the clipboard into whatever I'm pasting into. So for example, this one is a file folder, and I'm just adding a little picture of a drum set there. Then I press OK, and now I have a little picture of a drum set. Okay, let's do one right down here where it says pics. So I'm going to go over to my emoji keyboard again, and I'll find just something with pictures maybe. I'll just, instead of doing a search this time, I may just go to symbols here. Okay, and maybe, I love it that they have like a stop sign or a heart. Those are all really good things. Maybe I just want a letter, to remind me, oh, Pix has a big P next to it. So let me go over here. It gets a little tricky with these popping up, so I'll go right over here. You kind of got to get in there so you can kind of dodge that pop-up that comes up. So click on copy, and then I'll go right over here to Pix. Do a right click on it, click rename, add a space, and then click on Control V, and it has a little P that comes up. It's kind of hard to see, but that's what it is, a little P there. So This is a great way to add some fun and add a little bit of enhancement to your Google Drive that can be really kind of boring at times if you don't liven it up. So until next time, hope you were able to grab something from here and use it in your Google Drive.